Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, today I'm going to talk about this portable power station. It's basically a battery bank, and then it can convert that power to AC as well as USB ports. It has some lights and some other features as well. They even have a huge solar panel. This folds out and it's 100 watts of solar panel. I'll talk about that and using it. And obviously, what's the point of one of these guys? It is to give you power out on the go. It could be camping, it could be you going out boating, anything like that where you maybe don't have easy access to power. This can help give you that. Now, this has a peak power capability of 1400 watts with 700 watts sustained, and then the total capacity is 606 watt hours. I'll talk about what that means if you're not familiar with what all those terms kind of add up to be, and what does it mean as far as what you can get. It's roughly somewhere between 50 and 100 battery recharges for a cell phone, so that gives you an idea of how much power is our energy is in here. And then I'll talk about some of these devices here. These are cellular devices. I cover a lot of these on my channel with 5G home internet, and these can plug into it, so then you could have Wi-Fi out on the go without needing any grid power. You just need the cell signal and you can make it work. So I'll talk about how long those kind of last here. But let's talk about some of the features of this device first. So back to what I was talking about with the ratings for it. So the wattage, the 700 watt rating, that's how much power it can deliver, and that power is delivered through these two 110 outlets. So that's where you get your highest outage. On the side of it, you also have USB ports. You have both USB A and a USB C, which is a PD rated port, and that PD allows for higher amperage or higher power, and that's up to 100 watts out of that. The other ones I think are 60 watts. So the other USB ports are 60 watts. But so the only ones that are 700 watts are these two AC ones. But you can use them all simultaneously, at the same time. So you can have up to, the 700 watts total combined. And then on this side, there is a, called a cigarette plug or a 12 volt car plug. And then there's also DC input. And this red and black one here is actually for the solar panel. That's the connector that it has. And then you have the last one, which is the regular charger that's right over here. So this is how you charge up the unit. It takes about an hour and a half to charge it up from 0 to 80%. And then that last 80 to 100%, that last 20%, it actually takes another hour and a half. So it's 3 hours total, but you can get a bulk of that charged up in about an hour and a half. It's just the way you charge batteries. They slow down as they get more full, because they have to make sure the battery voltage stays very precise when you get to the top maxed out charge on them. So on this device, it's pretty easy to use. It's about 12 pounds, so it's not light. Also not that heavy. You can definitely carry it around with one hand without much of a problem, and perhaps you can use it as a workout dumbbell even when you're out camping. And then on the front, it has two LEDs. They're actually pretty bright. To turn them on, you just press the orange button on either side here, and now you have two LED work lights that you can have this set up at a campsite or out someplace, tailgating, and you'll have nice constant power there. And you notice when I turned them on, the LED screen also turned on, and you can activate that LED screen whenever you want by pressing these buttons. And it'll show you down the bottom here, I have a 100% charge right now. It tells you how many watts are going out or in of the unit. Right now it's 0. And then on the left side is a timer, and that tells you how much battery life or battery time is left before it runs out. So it tries to estimate that when you're using it. And they also have an app. I'm not going to show it because to me it doesn't seem to have a huge amount of value, but it is a little bit neat that there's a Bluetooth capability here. You can have your phone hooked up, and what you can do with that is basically see a lot of the same stuff that's on the screen as far as how much power is going out, how much time is left, and you can also turn on and off the different features. So in order to actually enable the AC or the DC, alright, so for the DC, you just press that button once and the light will turn green. That means your DC ports are now active and they're ready to send power out. Alright, so I can plug in my phone to the USB, and then I can hook it up here, and then you'll see that it charges up, and it shows me on the phone that it's doing fast charging, and that it takes about an hour for mine to get fully charged from 39%. If I look here at the wattage, it's telling me it's pulling out right now is like 10 to 18 watts of power is coming out of it through that port right now, which is all my phone is taking. Like I said, this port is available up to 100 watts if you plug it into, say, a laptop or something. And you can see there that the timer now is telling you how much longer that battery will last at that power level coming out. But I can take that out, and now I can also plug in any other device out there. And just to show you, for one of these home internet devices, this one's a Verizon home internet one, and it comes with this AC adapter. I don't have a DC equivalent for it. Alright, so in order to activate these ports, you have to press and hold the AC button for several seconds until it beeps at you. There we go. You can hear the fan kick on. The reason they make that one harder to turn on is because it does use up energy just to sit there. So you don't want to leave it on unless you're using it. So then once I plug this in, then this will actually kick on. You can start to see the power coming out. There it is, 3 watts, 2 watts. So not a lot of watts to power this guy up. It doesn't have a whole lot to it. But you can see a little light come on there. And I can do the same thing with this T-Mobile one. This T-Mobile one looks a little bit funny because I have the case off of it, because I modify these things to put external antennas on them, all kinds of fun stuff like that. But this is the Sagem-Com 5688W gateway, I believe. And so let's see what this Verizon one is pulling. It's pulling only 3 watts of power, 2 watts of power. So this thing can last for a long time. Let's see how long it tells me it lasts. It's talking about 90 hours that this Verizon one could be on constant. So obviously if you're out camping or whatnot, you could turn it off, have it on for 2-3 hours a day, and that would last you for weeks actually of powering this little guy up. Now if I plug in this T-Mobile one as well, make sure the power button's on, and we'll see how this guy kicks on here for a second. Now the timeout on the screen happens, so you can press this little button and you can see it again. Alright, so now we're running about 12 watts of power. I guess for fun, I might as well just throw my phone back onto that and just get some more power coming out and see how much power we can get coming out of this guy. Right now it's just 25, 26 watts, so not that much, but even so, it's showing I have about 10 hours of time that I can run with this guy, saying a little bit over 9 hours, so 9 hours and 20 minutes of time. I could have all these guys going. Obviously, the phone will charge up well before that 9 hours goes out. And this is what's really cool about it, is that it can do all these devices all at once. You could obviously have more plugged into it at the same time. What's nice about it is it's not loud like a generator or something, so it just sits there. And the best thing about this is this big solar panel. So this solar panel can go out there and it does 100 watts. So right now with 3 of these devices, I'm still at 32 watts total. So this solar panel could easily charge it up while it's powering all 3 of these devices without a problem. Now to set this up, I'll show a video of me out there when it was actually sunny of how this actually gets set up. Alright, so it's a nice sunny day out here. The snow is melting, but I have this unit here. I'll put it right here, and then this is the solar panel. Now it's a pretty nice little package that comes. Just pop it open, and then this is your solar, obviously. And then on the back side you have 2 stands that pop out, and this allows you to angle it and point it obviously towards the sun. So I'm going to get it pointing towards the sun. And on the back side here, there's also a zipper compartment, and this zipper has your cabling inside of it. So once I get this position, obviously gotta make sure this flap is exposing to the sun, and then this now has input on this side right here, and you just basically plug this in, and we'll be able to monitor this and see how it does. So it actually just lit up, and it's showing that it's getting wattage in. So let me see if I can see it in the shade here. So right now it's showing me 33 watts, 41 watts. So it's building up right now as this sun is clearing it. So it's pumping in about 50 watts right now, 50 or 60 watts. And this is Michigan winter, so not the strongest sun from an angle standpoint, but this is claimed at so now it's 61 watts. This is claimed at a 100 watt solar panel. That'd be maximum, of course,
But it looks like it's putting in about 60 watts right now for me here in March in Michigan. All right, so now it's been running just for a couple seconds. Now I'm showing 99 to 100 watts of input. So it is fully maxing out at the 100 watt claimed, even in Michigan in March. So I'm actually pretty impressed here with how easy that was to set up. I literally just flopped it open and plugged it in.
All right, so let's talk about how you can calculate how long your devices last. Now, the first thing I'll say is a lot of people will go to their device, either the back of the device or their wall adapter, and it tells you its output, right? So this one for this Verizon gateway says that it can do up to 24 watts of output, but I've never seen it pull anywhere close to that when I actually use it. It's under half that. It's under 10 watts for sure. It's running about 4 or 5 watts right now. Sometimes if I hook it up with Wi-Fi and I'm connected to it, it pulls a little bit more, but not much more. Anyways, the point is you do need to figure out how many watts your device actually pulls when you're using it, and then that's how you can use this calculation. So for this guy is 606 watt hours. So I would take that number and divide it by however many watts of the device that I'm using, or add up all your devices that you're using. And so, for simplicity's sake, let's just say it's 600 watt hours instead of 606. And let's say I have a device that pulls 60 watts total. So that's 60 watts. If I divide 600 by 60, that's going to give me 10 hours of time that it's going to be able to run. But there is another multiplier you have to do, and that is that there's an inefficiency whenever you convert power. So if you are using the 110 AC, then it's a 85% efficiency. So instead of getting 10 hours, I get 8.5, because I got to take the 10 times by 0.85. That gives me 8.5 hours for a 60 watt device. Now, if I'm using the DC, so the USB stuff, then or one of these cigarette lighters or whatnot, instead of the 85% efficiency, there's a 90% efficiency. So I would get 9 hours instead of the 10 hours, or instead of 8.5 hours. So that's the basic math of how you do it. So hopefully that was helpful. I think it's a really cool device. It certainly is neat seeing how much we can start to package power and energy into smaller and smaller devices that are easier to carry with you. This would really help out in a lot of situations where you need power but you don't have an easy way to get it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, give me a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. I do try to read them and try to answer them. So thanks.